So the Indiana Fever have got their enforcer. They have got their enforcer for Caitlin Clark. And I'm not gonna lie, like, when it comes to Caitlin Clark and their enforcer, last year everyone was talking about the being
Okay, it appears to be the WNBA bullies. Met their match at last, and boy, they're not prepared for what is ahead of you. Remember Caitlin Clark from last season? Was unable to breathe without becoming body checked, shoved, elbowed, or hacked, as if she had registered for WrestleMania, rather than a basketball league each. When she made contact with the ball, someone was attempting to communicate, "Yes, we received the loud and clear that you were afraid." Fearful of not being the center of attention. Fearful of being overshadowed by a newbie. Afraid that despite your best efforts, she simply kept getting up after being fouled, wasting threes and making you seem foolish. Defense estimate what message was received, and the Indiana Fever have just returned one. And theirs is even louder than everyone else's. Haters who believed that being excessively physical would shatter her to the athletes who believed that making cheap shots made them. The news flash made you appear formidable. Tell us how that is. It's salty, but not strong. Now working out for you due to Caitlin. Clark is no longer rolling alone. Instead, she's had a large, benevolent veteran backup, and oh no, these new Fever teammates didn't. They arrived to wave and smile, keep everything shut, and defend the queen. If you were a tough girl, you would act down. Of those athletes' thoughts this season would be identical to Clark's previous thought, would simply continue to be beaten without repercussions. Reconsider the Indiana. The Fever has gotten worse and is now larger, more powerful, finished playing nicely, and the WNBA drama is going to escalate. Let's dissect it all hot, because what you're going to witness is going to rock the WNBA. Take some popcorn, focus, and hold on tight. We're going to reveal the tough, unflappable players who are intervening to keep Caitlin Clark safe, and believe me, you will adore every a moment of it. Prior to delving into all the, take a moment to like this action, watch the video, and follow the channel. That how you'll constantly be informed about the major movements and games in the most recent WNBA news. Don't miss out on breakdowns like this one. Hit away. We've got you covered. Click like and subscribe. And you remember last season, so hop right in. Caitlin Clark entered the league on the right, with everyone watching her collegiate basketball game. NCAA record-breaker prodigy, the type of range that causes defenses to think twice. She was dropping their professional choices, doing it while draining dimes from logo threes. What did she receive in return for her swagger? Hold on, welcome to the league. Elbow, really? She was unable to take one dribble by alone without a partner, unintentionally stumbling into the second row. It seemed more like basketball then, as though she joined the WNBA's equivalent of. During the Royal Rumble, she appeared to have participated in a skills challenge, and ultimately, they claimed it was in a steel cage match. The term just rookie hazing was used. Physical protection, let's face it, these were ego plays, not basketball moves. It was bruises disguised as defense, like a group of sour veterans attempting to instruct the new child. But can you guess what Clark used to pass that class? Flying colors as they were occupied, fouling out, and some people are on social media was supporting the low-cost shots that seemed to be from the WWE. Clark remained trapped in the crossover episode. Fire in her game, ice in her veins. In the meantime, you haters appeared shaken, attempting to protect her with fouls out here, because skillfully protecting her wasn't working, and worst of all, no one had. Her roster from back in Indiana was youthful, still evolving, and no one was taking any action in order to say, hey, don't touch our star. It was similar to giving it your all. Soldier without armor into combat, just wishing she would survive the conflict. And she did in some way, but it shouldn't been in that manner for the players who believed that a harsh foul would silence her. You tried, but how is it doing for you to strike her? and she gave you the appearance of extras in the backdrop of her highlight reel. However, that script just received a rewrite with it written in this time, all bold and capitalized letters with a Sharpie. And perhaps a few of exclamation points for this. This isn't the same Caitlyn. Certainly not the same Fever although bullies enjoyed themselves, playtime is. Fever over Indiana just became spooky. Why didn't the Fever simply upgrade? Went all out for the Avengers, adding players that are not only gifted but also fierce, unrepentant, and fearless. To change it up, and they're approaching. Protect Indiana's prize jewel. If Caitlin Clark was Clark in the previous season, this season, Clark is up against the globe and business as opposed to everyone who even considers making a mistake. So who are these reinforcements? Let's destroy everything. Let's begin by taking down one superstar at a time. Natasha, with the beast in the paint. Howard, the WNBA's equivalent of a security system with an integrated attack mechanism. If her name is unknown to you yet, so that's your first error, since she's going to turn into a persistent nightmare for each. The player is considering attacking the rim. Imagine her as the club's bouncer. Indiana is pure, no BS, no excuses. Dominance, which is why you should, before you drive to the basket, give it some thought. Previous 3-time WNBA champion. Player of the Year for defense constructed like. Oh, she's moving like a jaguar in a tank. Has a jumper as well. She's a walking. She's seen it all won, so don't attempt it. Anything, and she's not available for hugs. She's making sure she's here for hard stops. No more elbows from Caitlin Clark. Last time, without someone responding to it. Clark was out there catching cheap this year. Photographs as if they were being sold, but this. Try that same nonsense again this year, Howard. Will be standing there, with their arms crossed. Discreetly raised eyebrows, stating, "You got around 5 seconds to correct that error." She contributes the kind of playoff perseverance, and you cannot feign intimidation. She isn't. She is only protecting the rim. The culture, the entire franchise, and the future, and discussing brave feistiness. And somewhat wild. Let's discuss. The chaos agent Sophie Cunningham, who transformed trash talk into a kind of art. Ruthless enforcer, who doesn't give a damn. I'll introduce you to chaos if you want it. Don't mess with me, Sophie Cunningham. This lady is the epitome of made differently. She's bold, and she is fiery and holds a black belt in Taekwondo. With the assurance of a knowledgeable. She is the most terrifying individual on the floor, and perhaps even in the parking lot. Sophie has a positive outlook, enough to circulate throughout the league. She's the type of athlete that can strike a at your bench, 3 people are barking in your face, and then fiercely protect your. Oh, and did I also mention the top scorer? Yes, she has more in-game combat. Her CV has more squables than some UFC. The girl has invoices for veterans, but the surprise is that she's not just barking. Sophie had a bucket she shot certification. Almost 38% from the previous season's deep, and she gives her room without hesitation. And it's lights out. Keep a close eye on her and she will force you into the paint as if it were. What makes her particularly dangerous is personal. Zero tolerance on the edge of that fire. Rule for anyone who tampers with her team. Don't even flinch when you foul Caitlin Clark. Sophie is checking in and cracking already. Her knuckles and ensuring that the following play is not overlooked. She's not only. She's a statement, a shooter, and a walking reminder that Indiana. The Fever isn't performing well this season. They added more than just another body. An innovator, a trailblazer, and an unafraid vet with a wicked shot and a crazy streak. Right when you believe that Indiana's. It's already too stacked, and now comes the last. The cool-headed element of the puzzle. The veteran sniper, the murderer, the one who's seen everything and continues to act as though she's have something to demonstrate. Let's discuss. Dana Bonner has many of rings. Records. She has scars from the playoffs, and she proudly dons them as if they were combat medals. Instead of flinching or folding, she doesn't simply appear. She appears when. Most importantly, Bonner isn't here for. She's here for W's, as seen by her Instagram likes. Not the huddle's loudest voice, but everyone pays attention to her when she speaks. Leadership is silent but effective, such as, "Before the storm, thunder is rolling in." She has participated in more postseason battles than the majority of the league came together as the pressure increases, Bonner remains intact, becomes the serenity amid the chaos. In the clutch, an assassin she doesn't require. She plays chess in order to dominate and drop 30. Her job keeps her busy while others play checkers. Caitlin Clark's new guide for young people. Stars and display the league's remaining players. The appearance of championship DNA up. Near, and when the time comes for every possession, when the playoffs hit. Concerns, Bonner doesn't merely take part. She assumes control while the critics are. Bullies are tweeting and tossing. Bonner's elbows are dropping wins. Conducting a masterclass in daggers. Remaining calm and deadly, she's the closer the finisher is to the legend on the court, with a sour attitude and a mission in her heart, which she is currently carrying out. You're in Indiana, and you've come this far. That must indicate that you're having a great time. The video, so let's have a little. The second time you press the follow button, it's completely free, very easy, and beneficial to us. Continue to provide you with amazing material, particularly if you're a WNBA fan, whether player highlights are highlighted in the game or behind-the-scenes footage we have. You're covered, and by doing what you'll never skip a beat in terms of your favorite teams and athletes are available for tap. That come next, okay, let's jump. Let's return to the topic of the WNBA. Let's be honest, bullies, we're all believing that a few players took Angel Reese Kennedy a little too personally. Carter, two people in the sky, the league did not embrace energy. And more, novice, stay in your lane, but after she ate, Clark didn't give up. She kept the hits that she dropped, buckets of. Her game is up, her head is down, and you. That's what frightened them, not the fans, not the cameras, but the hype. The fact that they were unable to shatter her. They struck her, and she rose. She drained threes after they fouled her. Spoke. She silently set them on fire. So, the league is currently facing a new issue. Clark is no longer alone in Indiana. They just became apex predators after being underdogs. The Fever weren't only trying to find. They sought a balance of talent. Chessboard with knights, rooks, queens, and a list with all the pawns in the proper places. You've got bite and brains now. Like a youngster, Clark is leading the attack. Steve Nash with the range of Steph Curry, causing mayhem, dragging defenders, and every night you have highlight plays. A walking bucket, Kelsey Mitchell is capable of. Drop 25 quickly on any given night. Cold-blooded and self-assured, you have. Aaliyah Boston is a young, robust, and hungry, all set to take over the paint. She has already demonstrated her potential as an MVP. Had 3 seasoned bodyguards arrive too. This team can win games and fling elbows, prepared to retaliate, and then some of the team you circle on the calendar and begin planning weeks in advance. You believe that this was merely a protective measure. No, Clark, this is much larger than that. The goal here is to completely. This script is about informing the league. Bolded capital letters on national television. You can't use exclamation points to bully. Your path to victory is no longer possible. Consider the league spokesperson as a punching bag and hoping for no applause. The Indiana Fever have returned. Well done for being such a gorgeous little one. Restoring the team that everyone refers to as an EW, the days of escaping punishment. Cheap shots, passive, and elbows. Hostile post-match remarks over there. No longer the victims. Instead, they are the Fever and Storm are sick of being. They are fed up with being pushed around. Ignored because they were sick of being on the team with possibility. That label is no longer there. Antiquated, like flip phones and fax machines. Phones, a new roster for a new chapter. Fresh vitality, and if you continue to believe. You're alone out here, Caitlin Clark. Obviously haven't been keeping an eye on. No longer holding out for next year. They're not awaiting your blessing. Instead than attempting to blend in, they're kicking down the door and removing the